Hey, what's up, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am once again lucky enough to be joined by the boys, SplitScreen and Sammyboiii, and we've got a pretty special episode today. We're going to be diving into some Star Wars Zero Company discussions. The boys have both been hands-on, in-depth, and have shared their thoughts on their channels, but we're going to get into some more details today and hopefully find out a little bit more about the game. Before we do that, we are going to get into another episode of Glup Shitto, and we've got a couple other minor talking points. But if you are here specifically for the Zero Company discussion, I will be sure to put a chapter marker down below so you can jump straight to it if you so desire. Before we do that though, boys, how are you doing? How has Zero Company been? Just briefly before we get into the main discussion. We'll start with you, Split. Initial impressions, positive, I guess. I have watched your videos and you seem to enjoy your time.
Yeah, I mean, before I get into that, can I just say bravo? That was actually pretty special. Like, you just dived straight into that, like, and nailed it. I mean, you've done it every time, but like something about that one was just, that was good.
Chills.
Cheers, bro. I'm just amped up to hear about this Zero Company stuff from you boys.
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, I loved Zero Company so much. It was so much fun. I only managed to play probably like 15 to 17 hours like total because I didn't really have a huge amount of time to like rerun it several times like others did. But yeah, very excited to go and play more. Customization's crazy, gameplay's really deep, really fun. Yeah, great story. Happy days.
And Sammy, I know you've got similar sentiment, but anything you want to just quickly reveal now before we jump into the main discussion?
No, I feel like Mark pretty much summed up my own thoughts as well. Like, I had a blast with it. I pretty much,
lads.
Yeah, ended there. I think I clocked about nearly 25 hours, and I'm not going to lie, like 5 of that was just like customizing things and like just sort of even just in the den, just like going around, like talking to people. Like there was only about 12-ish hours of like actual gameplay in this preview, and I still managed to like double that pretty much. I would have probably, if I had more time, like Mark said, I would have just restarted it and done it again, to be honest. But yeah, I had a blast with it. I don't really have too many negative thoughts about it so far, but obviously we need to wait for the proper launch to fully review it. But yeah, definitely off to a good start.
Well, I'm going to dive into it with you boys again, like I say, in just a moment. Before we do that, let's hit the Glup Shitto or no and get your thoughts.
Glup Shitto or no.
Right, as you guys know, this one was a little bit last minute. I've had a bit of a chaotic day, so usually I pre-plan out the Glup Shitto or no sort of subject, but this was off the cuff. So you'll have to forgive me if it's not quite as on the line as usual, but 3, 2, 1, here we go.
Ooh. Jeez. Tough one.
So I'll give you my train of thought. My train of thought for picking Captain Phasma was mainly because Captain Phasma was hyped up in all the promo material for The Force Awakens, almost as being like the next Boba Fett in terms of her like reach and impact, which I be honest, I don't think she ever achieved.
No.
She ends up being a bit of a nothing burger, really, in my opinion, if I'm being completely honest. It's not necessarily an insult to the character, because I actually think design is actually like S tier. And Gwendolyn Christie is actually just super cool. And with the material they gave her, I think she did a pretty good job. But I think just ultimately is a pretty inconsequential character to the plot of that story. And as a result, if we're going to go by our sort of our Glup Shitto criteria, again, people outside of the main Star Wars fandom probably are not picking up Captain Phasma like they would even a Boba Fett. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my reasoning for picking her. So I'll let you boys sound off. Sammy, let's start with you.
Jeez, this might be the hardest one so far.
I agree.
Because
you boys say that every week.
This one has rattled me because I actually go the opposite of what I would normally say, where I think the criteria points towards her not being a Glup Shitto, but my first thoughts is I want to say she's a Glup Shitto. I think this is like one of those characters that we as like diehard fans obviously know who she is, but Yeah, if I was watching with my dad, he's not gonna know who that is. He's gonna be like, "Who's this big stormtrooper?"
So are
like,
you saying that your like logic that you usually apply is almost like doing you over backwards this time around?
sort of, because I think like say with like Sebulba and stuff, we talked about like how much time they're on screen. Like she doesn't really do anything in the movies that much, other than really the fight with Finn in episode 8, and then she's like obviously got bits in Force Awakens. But like she's on screen a fair amount. I'd have to guess she's probably on screen as much as or more than some of the other characters.
I bet it's more than Boba Fett in the original trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Also.
Yeah. So on that side of it, I'm like, nah, she sort of can't be because she seems important and all those sorts of things. But I think what you said is a good point about like Boba wasn't on screen long, but he's now like a cult classic. Whereas like she's not really, maybe in like 20 years she will be for like that younger generation. I don't know. I kind of doubt that. I feel like she doesn't have that impact. So I'm gonna say she's a Glup Shitto, which feels wrong to say because I've said others aren't, and the criteria doesn't. It's kind of contradictory, but I'm gonna say she's a Glup Shitto.
For context, she only has 3 minutes and 30 seconds of screen time.
In the whole sequels, or just
in Force Awakens last year, because she's not in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. That's actually kind of more than I thought in a way.
Yeah, me too. I think.
Yeah,
Boba Fett's screen time in the original trilogy was actually more. Boba Fett actually had 6.5 minutes of screen time.
Did he?
Which actually surprises me too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a long time. But also, I think with Boba, most of that's going to be him standing in the background doing absolutely
it's
nothing.
not like he was. Yeah,
Fair. That's actually a fair comment. Yeah, just fucking aura farming.
He's just aura farming. Just,
yeah. No, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say Glup Shitto.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you otherwise. Split. What are you saying? Hey.
Yeah, I think it is a hard one. Genuinely, probably the hardest one we've had so far. I like at a really sort of base level. I kind of want to say yes because like she doesn't like have that impact that other characters have. Like she's not in it a huge amount, and she's not sort of Boba Fett like level in any way. She is really cool, and actually, Phasma was one of those characters that I was like really hyped for. Saw her in The Force Awakens and was like, hell yeah. Like, I really can't wait to see more of her later on. And then, like, The Last Jedi happened, and I was hoping she'd be in it a bit more. But then, I also want to say, like, no for the most part, because, like, she's got a whole novel dedicated to her. In Star Wars Resistance, a fair bit. She's got a comic line that she's in. Like there's quite a lot of supporting media around Phasma as a character as a whole. So if we're talking purely just films, like to be honest, I'm probably still gonna say no, she's not. But I can fully understand why people would say she is. But then when you think of all of the other media around her, then I'm like, actually no, like she's not. I can't remember. What did we say about Sebulba? Did we say we said he's not.
Yeah, we said he's not.
Mainly because he does have
the impact,
fairly big impact on that point of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So it's like when I think back to Sebulba being a no, and then I think of all of the media that we've got for Phasma, I'm like, I can't I can't knowingly say yes to that. So
my like take on that is more so it's not because I that's kind of where I said my criteria is contradicting because like I said the same shit about Sebulba. The difference is Sebulba's like goated. Everyone knows Sebulba. Everyone loves him.
Yeah,
she's got all this media and stuff, and no one cares. No one still cares about Phasma.
She is also in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's the other thing. Obviously, that game is incredibly popular. So a lot of people, even casuals, will probably know about her through that. Even if it's just the shiny stormtrooper, like I don't know. And she was pretty fun to play in Battlefront, so I'd like to think that people know about her from that too. So I'm going to say a firm no.
Oh, we've got a first disagreement.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I thought that.
So,
Yeah, we haven't had
One
yet.
more thing for me as well is that they do end up, which is a Glup Shitto criteria that we've used in the past, is that she does end up being a bit comic reliefy when she's captured by Finn, for example, and he's just like taking the piss out of her basically and like slaps her on the head or whatever he does.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, again, she kind of
I'm in
gets,
charge
like,
now, Fatma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although that, I guess that's more of a Finn comic, but it's at her expense at the very least. So I think for me that kind of feed into it. And I think if I was going to vote, and I always struggle voting because I guess somewhere in my subconscious I think they're a Glup Shitto to a degree to even pick them, but I've got to chime in, and I try to be as like objective about it as I possibly can. I do think she is just. I think
I've been picked up. Oh no. Oh no. How
I
terrible.
think she just tips over it because in her main appearance, which is obviously the films, she's quite brief, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. She's a bit silly. She certainly doesn't give us like a super badass like battle scene in every time she's on screen, or she's not like absolutely stunting on people left, right, and center, and like she ultimately dies to Finn. Do you know what I mean? In like a pretty foolish way. So it's like I'm gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna hit you with a 2-1 this week. Split.
It's fine. I'm used to it. It's
Love
all
it.
good.
I think that's a good
boys.
point though about her. Like the she's almost a bit of a failure of a character, which is I think that's my part that makes it feel
True.
like a Glup Shitto.
Yeah.
She just feels if she had have like paid off, she would be like, oh man, Phasma's so sick. But all these little things that they tried to do with like making her look cool, and they brought her back in The Last Jedi, which we kind of didn't really know if that was going to be the case because we thought she kind of could have died on Starkiller Base, and it was not really confirmed until the trailers and stuff that there was like a pop up of her face and stuff. And they tried doing all this cool stuff. They had the book, and then it's just like still no one really cares about her. Like,
if we
that's
had
kind of
like
my
a
point.
badass, Phasma just like ripping through like a squad of like resistance like fighters. Do you know what I mean? Like
Get
just
her lance out and just like
Yeah.
skewering
Like,
dudes, headshotting dudes, like breaking necks, and then she'd be straight into the nose. She'd like just all it takes. But she just didn't quite get that, I think. So I think unfortunately it's
And even in
being
Battlefront,
Phasma.
the point that you made, Mark, for example, like she is the Glup Shitto of that game itself in terms of the heroes. Like there's so many cool ass heroes, and then I guess you'd say probably Bosk is another one where there's just more random character. But like she was just like the hero that no one really played and no one really cared for that much, I guess, other than when she was very broken and like frustrating.
Oh, true.
Fair point. Fair point.
True.
Right then, a couple more bits just before we get into Zero Company. I'm going to hit you with a couple of bits and bobs to talk about. We'll try and be brief. This is kind of mainly just one for us because we may end up actually experiencing this, which is going to be... Have you guys seen the new Skywalker grill at the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art?
I have not.
Get a load of this.
Oh,
whoa!
Shit.
That's like
that's so it's designed with the Skywalker Ranch in mind. It was some of the inspiration for it. So I was thinking that's the reason for the Skywalker grill, as opposed to it being like Anakin inspired or Luke inspired or something.
Yeah, sure.
But pretty snazzy, and is open to both paying attendees of the museum and the public. So you don't even necessarily need to.
It's just a restaurant
museum to go to this. It's on the roof. It's on the roof of it.
Is it?
Ah, nice. I was wondering what they do with that part where it's like, the top. There's like a top layer that looked like it was a part of the building.
I think
I remember us talking about that.
Yeah. Open to both museum visitors and the public. Skywalker will welcome guests for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch, offering a natural extension of a museum visit as well as a place to gather for an evening meal. Remaining open beyond museum hours, the restaurant invites guests to enjoy panoramic views of Los Angeles long after the galleries have closed. I think that's going to be awesome. Sammy, you've been to LA before, so you know what like downtown LA looks like at nighttime. I'm sure it's probably going to make for a pretty cool vibe, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
And here we go. Perched top of the museum, Skywalker is the museum's signature full-service restaurant inspired by the welcoming spirit of George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch, operated by Rhubarb Events and Hospitality Collection. part of Oakview Group. The restaurant serves refined American cuisine rooted in California's seasonal ingredients alongside a thoughtfully created beverage program. That sounds like you all over, Sammy.
Oh,
Over
feed me beers in this place, please.
Sky Cook, and then it just repeats a couple bits and bobs. But that's all we've got of it right now. But I mean,
Alex,
as long as it's not like, as long as I'm not like priced out of this as a commoner,
That's the thing. I was like, it looks very expensive, but man, if it's reasonably priced, we're gonna have to go to that for sure. That so much
100%.
I think that's definitely part of a Lucasfilm museum visit if we get the opportunity.
Yeah.
So that was the first one I just wanted to bring up, just to talk about really quickly. And then the other one I just wanted to mention, and you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about this, but we might be really close to getting some info on the Disney Epic stuff this week. D23 kicks off this weekend, which is obviously the ultimate Disney fan event. Typically we see news about the Disney parks, Disney films, Pixar films, Star Wars and Marvel, of course. And it has been used in the past to talk about the Epic and Disney collaboration. We got that cool trailer where we saw like loads of highlights from the stuff they've done over the last few years and a couple of highlights of what they might do in the future. And there was a shot of both Galaxy's Edge and the Magic Kingdom castle. So rumors have been swirling regarding potential games coming out of the Disney and Epic collaboration. One of those, which I think, Mark, you actually raised with us originally in the podcast group chat that we've got, was about this potential extraction shooter that at the time we all thought sounded pretty bonkers, but there does seem to be a little bit of weight to this rumor. I've had a little look online and been doing some research on this, and multiple places are reporting that it's been doing internal play tests. There were some issues with some of the mechanics. They thought they were very unoriginal. So it's gone through a few rounds of testing. But the rumor is it's actually going to launch in November 2026. And if it does launch that quickly, then I think if we don't get it at D23, Summer Games Fest would be the absolute layup. However, if I'm being honest, I think D23, given they've used that before for this collaboration to discuss it, is probably the likely scenario. And as someone who is sorely missing a live shooter game that has Star Wars elements, I'm well up for this. I told you guys about this earlier, but I think I could go like fully in on this in terms of content. And generally just pretty excited. I mean, not only for the Star Wars element, but I quite like Disney in general. So, right up my street. And if it's good, I quite enjoy the extraction shooter genre, to be honest with you. So I could be well up for this. What are you thinking? Would you play?
Yeah. I mean, I'd definitely give it a go for sure. I think it's one of those things of, depending on how far they go with it. If it's, I think we were saying earlier, is like it could be a bit more of a like hero shooter type extraction shooter, in that like you've got iconic Disney characters with their own set of abilities, and then you can go in and you can like get loot or whatever and come out and, I don't know, build your own Magic Kingdom or something like that. That would be actually kind of sick, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
That's like a secondary like feature of it,
yeah, it's like, because I think there's an extraction shooter I played called like Vigor. It's like, I think these Norwegian developers made it. And in that, it's an extraction shooter where you have your like little hub world, and you can go into the map, get loot, come back, and you get currency, and you can get stuff that you can like upgrade your like house in the Norwegian hills. And it's like quite a fun little thing where you've got that. Whereas like other extraction shooters I've seen, I don't think you really get that element of like walking around and like fully upgrading stuff. And it's all a bit more of like an inventory management game.
Yeah, stuff like Marathon is just get the best loot you can find, and hopefully get some cool guns while you're at it. And backpacks and stuff that you just continue to use. There's no like, and you don't get to take anything you earn out of it and then like use it other than the guns.
Yeah, and that's like, for me, that's why I've just never really got into extraction shooters, because there's no other side to it in terms of like just having a little hub world that you can upgrade and you can see. So I feel like a Disney one, if you can like go in and there's like a big map that's got elements from all the different Disney areas. I don't know, you play as Woody and you've got like a lasso or something that you can just harm enemies in some way. Maybe you won't be able to kill them, I don't know. And then you can like find loot and then go back and like build your Magic Kingdom. Like you can sort of add like rides to it, or you can like rebuild the castle and things like that. That actually could be quite interesting. Obviously, as a Star Wars fan, I'd love to see some Star Wars elements in there. So if you have like Star Wars characters and like, I don't know, you could build your own sort of Galaxy's Edge or earn props that you can place around your own Disney themed space. Yeah, it could be really interesting. I'm hoping D23 will reveal it, if not Gamescom, but we'll see.
Yeah, I do think you're right. What you say about the hero sort of side of it was a really good comment by you. Actually, I think in order for that to work, you can't just give it every character in a Disney IP like a freaking machine gun, can you? It's just, they're just not going to do that to the images of some of these characters.
No, absolutely not.
Although I would like to see Woody finally get a gun in that holster. And
Yeah, that would be sick.
Revolver some fools would be pretty cool. I feel like I think you're absolutely spot on, actually. I think you'd have to use some sort of like ability-based hero sort of element, like you said earlier, like Elsa casting magic, Woody with a lasso. I guess like if you were Luke Skywalker, you could probably use a lightsaber and the Force, of course. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do it. Sammy, are you particularly big on extraction shooters? Would it be something I'm going to assume, by the way, so correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to assume the amount of Star Wars content in it would influence how much you invested in it.
To an extent, I'm a big Disney fan as well. So like if the game's good and there's not much Star Wars in it, but it's obviously Disney characters, I think I would
still
enjoy it enough. Yeah. Like I definitely
fair.
like Disney enough to be invested in that world regardless of Star Wars or not. Obviously if there's the more Star Wars and even like Marvel stuff, the better. But yeah. I do like extraction shooters, but pretty similar to what Mark said. It's never really it's never fully hooked me because, you go in, you do your run, and then like you're gathering all this stuff. But I feel like I'm just like, okay, well, cool. I got this cool shit. Like what, what do I do with that now? You know what I mean? That's my problem with extraction shooters versus like, I'm a big battle royale guy, and the difference with that is that that's not the gimmick. Is you're going in there to like do that. You're going in there to beat everyone else. So that's I was saying to you guys yesterday how I'm like a competitive person. Like that's what I like about BRs, is trying to be there's 100 players in a lobby. I want to be the best player. Yeah. In extraction shooters, you don't really. It's not quite as like. It's still obviously very high risk, but you can extract early, and even like 10 people at the end can extract. Everyone like playing Arc Raiders. A lot of people will just. You let the other players go in with you and stuff.
There's no real winning, is there?
You don't feel satisfied as much when you extract, and
I agree.
But you would if you got something really good, which I get. You can get really good weapons and stuff. The thing is that they're not really permanent, because like you might take that on your next run and then you die, and it's like, well, okay, cool. I had that cool gun for one run. Whereas if you're bringing back something to be able to build your fort and stuff, that's where that type of thing is what would hook me. Like if there's, and I know there has been extraction shooters like that before, but I think like a big modern version of that, if it is Disney or even if it's just some other game like that, that definitely has the potential to hook me. It's just that they've never done it. It's really Arc Raiders and Marathon both. I really enjoyed the gameplay loop, but I kind of just finish a run and then I'm like, like I got some cool stuff. All right. Like that's and then sort of how I feel about it.
Seasonal resets doesn't help either, I think. Like Marathon. For my sins, I really got into Marathon. One of about the 10 people in the world that did enjoy it.
I actually really enjoyed Marathon.
It's solid. It's such it's Bungie. They build great games, but I think it was a PR disaster off the back of then Destiny shutting down. It was just everything was stacked against it, and I just don't think it will recover. But I did really get into it, and I completely get what you're saying. Like, unless you like truly love like griefing people and just like winning those gunfights, you might leave with a cool gun and some cool loot, but like you can, like you're completely right, next run you could just lose it all, and then 2 months later or a month later it just resets anyway. So I think a permanence element in this potential Disney one, given their IP range being so massive, would actually be a great shout. Something I never even considered that, but that would actually be really quite fun, I think, to be honest with you. If you complete like certain quests in the game and you get like I don't know, Darth Vader's helmet as like a bust for your wall or something.
Stuff
like that would be really cool. Well, hopefully we find out something this weekend. I cannot wait. I'm actually on a holiday this weekend, and I'm going to be like checking my phone for all D23 news, because I'm taking my camera and I'll be busting it out and recording a video by the pool about that if I have to.
Nice.
Really quite excited by the idea of it. And you guys know I've been craving like a PvP experience. I think as long as it's executed well and the more Star Wars content the better, I could certainly find myself fully buying into that.
Nice.
Right, let's get into the biggie then, boys. Zero Company. So you've both been playing it extensively, as we discussed just now. You've both put up some really nice videos. Actually, I've really enjoyed both your content on this. So legitimately, like, big well done. It's doing some pretty good numbers for you both as well. So like, genuinely, as you know, genuinely pumped to see you guys win on that element, man. Well done. Keep it up.
Appreciate it, my man.
I promise you, I'm always like your first like fucking 10 likes every time.
Yeah, boy.
Every time. And if I'm
Love
not,
it.
it's only because I'm at work and I'm not catching it because I'm like,
Yeah.
shit or something.
Locked in on the ports.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier, corporate weapon.
Yeah.
So I guess off the bat, like, just hit me with it raw. Like, I've seen a lot of the gameplay now through videos online, but it's not the same as getting hands on. I'm going to start with you, Split.
Oof.
Has it met your expectation from your initial impressions?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I was like really excited for this game anyway. I went into it with high expectations. As you both know, I've been like, before I got hands on, I made a video saying like this could be one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, and probably one of my favorite games of all time. And then I, like, you know, having played those first 15 hours, like every time I was playing it, I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like, this is so cool. Like, an insane opportunity to have as well. I mean, to be able to play it basically a month early is like mad. So yeah, like, just incredibly grateful for that as well. I just enjoyed it so much. Like, the combat has got so much depth to it with all the different weapons and utilities, the specializations, the bond system, the way the specializations can like work together in certain parts, and you might have a passive ability that, like, you know, adds critical hit guaranteed for the next hit on that particular enemy, and then like Trick, who's DC 15, is like insanely powerful, could then like critical hit in like one shot, like an infinite coil member or something. And it's just like you try things like that and it's so satisfying. Or you miss a shot and then you just think, how the hell did that miss? Like, a 95% shot misses. Or in some of my footage that I've been showing, there's a clone trooper that I managed to find in a mission called Sawtooth. He has a pistol, 85% chance shot. The battle droid's like 5 meters away and he shoots it straight into a railing like 2 feet in front of him. Like, bro, how? And then the next shot you take hits him. And it's like, well, why didn't you just do it the first time?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's moments like that which is just really funny. And yeah, it's just so much fun. And like, the way the story like progresses throughout the preview was like, it started off really intriguing and like just that had that sort of typical Star Wars like early story feeling, and then it just built up and then got to a point where it's like, okay, this is like this is crazy. So it's like, if the game story carries on as it did in the preview, like, we're in for a genuine like all-timer for Star Wars, I think. And
does the story feel high stakes?
It feels like it was starting to get there when the preview ended.
It felt like it was starting to get there. So as everyone's seen all over social media, the last mission we got to play was the mission where Anakin comes into it.
Nice. Yeah.
You do get to play as Anakin. Like, you take control of him and use him on your team for that mission, which is insane. So cool. And yeah, so it's like, at that point onwards, you're like, okay, so now like that really felt like the crux of like, okay, we're going to get into the story now, like fully send it. Yeah, everything before that was just like, it was sort of like slowly building up, and then it's like shit hits the fan, excuse my French. And yeah, so we'll see where it goes next. But yeah, loved it, absolutely loved it.
Sammy, I'm going to hit you with a slightly different question as opposed to just rehashing what we went through there. Me and you have spoken on the pod previously about some of the similarities we sort of drew compared to Mass Effect around this game, and how I think, did you call it the bond system in this game just now, Split? Is it called the bond system? So Mass Effect obviously has something very similar with your team members, and I saw your video, Sammy, obviously, where you sort of dived into the Den, which seems to draw a lot of comparisons to the Normandy from Mass Effect. Has it met your expectations or exceeded them in any capacity in that element specifically? And do you think that element of the game has been done well? Oh,
that's a tough one. I think it's definitely been done well. I think I would say it has potentially exceeded my expectations, mostly because when the game was sort of first announced, I didn't really expect any of the Mass Effect type of stuff until obviously we got that PC Gamer article and he mentioned Mass Effect, and that's where I started going, okay, like, is that where this game's going to go?
It definitely came out of left field, didn't it? That bit of information.
Yeah, and so even with that nugget of information, you still kind of question, well, how much of that is there going to be? I think it kind of exceeded that, because a lot of the time that you're playing is in the den and you're upgrading, you're talking to characters, you're getting little bits of lore, recruiting new characters, customization, all that stuff. So that side of the game is really, really, like, it's way better than I was expecting, because that's the thing with XCOM, the gameplay was really good. So I was never like, oh, is the gameplay going to be good in this game? Because it was just always going to be. Yeah, which I'll also say that is like infinitely better than XCOM, in my opinion. It's like so much higher quality than XCOM, but that's kind of to be expected. It's 10 years newer. So if that game is really good, this game should also be really good in that sense. But the side systems of this game are where I actually was kind of blown away with just the den, the cutscenes, the graphics, all of those things are things that I would be okay with this game not having great graphics, because it's just not that type of game that needs to have amazing graphics. But like every cutscene and stuff, I'm looking at. There's one cutscene where I was talking to Trick, and just the lighting in the room and his armor and stuff. I'm like, mate, like this looks. I think it might look better than Jedi, to be honest. Like, or at least close to it. Like, it just looks so good, and all of those things are the elements that have, I guess, exceeded my expectations, where I didn't maybe think that they would. Not to say I thought it would be bad. I just can't. In this type of game, you expect like those elements to not be as important. The gameplay is like the core of the game, but it's actually kind of not in this game. It's actually just like a part. Like, the gameplay is just a part of the game. Like, running around the den, customizing and stuff is like I said, I played 25 hours, and probably I'd have to guess 10 of those hours were actually in combat, and the rest of it was just like story moments or walking around the den, customizing stuff. So yeah, that side of the game, I think they've absolutely knocked it out of the park.
To add to that, sorry, I think
No, you're good.
like the way the game like prolongs itself is so fun, and it's sort of in that same vein. Like, you could spend hours just customizing unique troopers and operators, and like playing around with their specializations. Like, the way the mission cycles work as well. So you can do some operations first, and then you do a tactical mission, and then at the end of the tactical mission, it starts a new cycle. Now, some of the story missions, like, and even some of the story operations, that you don't have to do those for like 3 cycles at times. So you then get what is essentially another hour of gameplay where you're just doing these sort of like side missions, with the operations. The tactical missions are all just like, actual detailed combat gameplay for sort of a little side mission. But it means that then when you go and progress the story, it's like an hour later, when in other games you're like constantly going from one point to another. It's like, I played 15 hours, and I would be able to finish Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor in 15 hours. Yeah. Like, because you're just constantly going through that whole story non-stop. So I played 15 hours of a game, which was just the first portion, and that's how long it took me to go from the start to the end of the Anakin mission. And it's like, this game is genuinely going to be long. Like, when they said 30 to 40 hours for the story, I was a little bit like, I was sort of optimistic that, it probably would take that long, but then equally I was a bit like, surely not. But like, now I get it. It genuinely will take that long for people, and they do such a good job of like filling in all of this gap with like really interesting content that isn't just forcing you to play the story all the time. So yeah, that was a big like selling point for me as well.
Yeah, I think that part of it, that's like it's not just filler content. It's like some of the missions that you do. That Sawtooth one you said, like, that's completely you can miss that. If you don't speak to Trick, you can just never see that. And that was like probably top 3 of my favorite missions, is rescuing him. and then the cutscene afterwards, which like I won't go into the details,
so cool.
but then it's like, that stuff is like, one, completely missable, and two, it's not just this random side mission that's like, oh, that was cool, I went and just fought some people. It's like actually pretty deep cuts into Star Wars, some of this stuff. And you also get some really cool rewards. There was one mission where I can't remember exactly how I got this. I think it was like not quite as missable as those ones, but like you get this scatter gun as a reward for it. And it was like OP as fuck. Like I gave it to Cab, and it hits anyone in the direction that it's aiming. So if there's like 3 enemies right next to each other, you just shoot them with a scattergun, and it hits all of them for like 20 damage. And it was just in this side mission. Like, it was
is that just a new weapon that you can just add on?
Yeah, it's a utility. So it actually just, you can have your blaster and then a scattergun as well.
Yeah.
And so little things like that, which again, I mean, the fact that Mark didn't even know that's in there, that's kind of our point. Is that like this was not some hidden thing that I did, you know, crazy things to unlock. It was just happened to be one of the missions that popped up. And I had, like Mark said, you kind of have a bit of time to choose if you want to do some side missions first. And I was about to do a main mission, and I saw this one that said reward scattergun. I'm like, oh, I'll see what that is. And then not only was it a cool mission, but then you get cool rewards that then last with you forever. So that's the thing. I mean, that Sawtooth mission like was a side mission that you could completely miss. I had a similar mission for Jay as well. And those missions can provide so much backstory to these characters, like really interesting lore. I don't know if you played that mission as well or not, Sammy, but it's like really cool stuff like that. So to anyone listening who are thinking, oh, I'm not going to talk to anyone in the den, like, do talk to people in the den. Literally after every single mission, speak to every person.
Even if it is just like a side mission, like go and speak to them, because sometimes that's when you do get this more of a cutscene conversation that then leads into a new mission starting. In fact, I had one for Cab as well.
The radio transmitter or whatever.
So there's loads of really interesting lore that you can learn about these characters. There's obviously all the different missions that you get to see as well, that you just might completely miss. I mean, I was speaking to one of the developers on the game, and they were saying that they've obviously played this game for the last several years, and to this day they're still learning like new bits of dialogue and new new ways to sort of play the game and tweak your characters and this and that and the other, which is just like it's a real testament to the depth that this game actually has. So I just, you know, as fun as it is to play through it once, I genuinely think this is going to be a game I'm going to want to play through like multiple times in a short space of time, just because of how detailed you can be with it, how like wacky the like. I'm going to probably go through the first playthrough like with purely mostly story characters, like to get like the canon experience, but then I want to run through it again where it's like the boys, like us three and like my brother as clone troopers, and then we're all just like dominating the infinite coil. Like that would be sick. So it's going to be really fun.
So just cycling back to the Mass Effect comparisons, that's one of the reasons why for me Mass Effect was so replayable, was because you could miss like the Garrus loyalty mission, and then as a result you miss out on saving his life at the end of the game. And I'm actually fully expecting this game, towards the end of the game, to have maybe a similar sort of type of mission where characters will die if you haven't done certain requirements to like keep them loyal, or you know, follow the decisions you're making and such. So yeah, I think that's a major win, and I'm actually really glad it's something that when we heard the comparison, like you said, Sammy, I did immediately go because that's a big big props to get, is to be compared to Mass Effect in that regard. So that's a massive bonus for me. Another one I want to touch on then, customization. You say you can get lost in the customization, and I've seen a bunch of content on this at this point, with people making some like crazy looking builds and like customization options. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can just like slap a clone trooper helmet on Hawks, for example, but keep his trench coat, for example, or vice versa. You could slap give me an example of another helmet in the game. You guys know better than me. Like
there's the Pike helmets that are I don't know if there's actually that many helmet options other than like there's headwear, as in like goggles and stuff, but most of the helmets are just clones. But yeah, there are like the pike helmets and stuff. You could just have Hawks just wearing a pike head, pretty much.
But then also have him wearing like clone trooper armor, right? If you wanted to.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are going to make some dumb looking runs on this game.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be some absolute troll runs. And
I just saw a guy on Twitter that had a Avician, a green Avician with a full pink like clone armor and shit. It just looked so dumb, but like so sick that you can do that.
Yeah, I think like everybody's talked about it since the game was revealed, like just doing like an astromech run. I feel like that's not even going to be the most wacky stuff people do, and I think that's going to be so funny to see some of this stuff. I was actually really interested watching your video, Sammy, about the astromechs. They can't wield blasters or anything, right? So you've got to be quite smart about how you play with them. And I thought it was really quite cool that you could like they can still use grenades, right? Because they're utilities.
Yeah. And they actually can carry more than everyone. So like they are still pretty strong, but it's just that you can run out. Like with Hawks, you can't run out of attacks. Like you always, every turn you're going to have an attack. Whereas like at some point with astromechs, if you're in a really long mission, you will just get to the point you cannot actually do it. You just have to escape. The good thing is they can heal up pretty well. Like they're pretty tanky, but you can get to a point where if you've got 4 and they've all run out of grenades, you simply cannot deal any damage at that point. So that's where that sort of run is going to be really fun, because there are some missions that I was in for like half an hour or longer trying like just fighting for my life trying to get out of there, and like there'd be one teammate would go down and I didn't want him to. It would be like Trick, and I'm like, I cannot let Trick die, so I have to go and revive him. I'd revive him and then he would escape, but then Hawks would go down because he went and revived him, and then it was just fighting for your life to get out of there. So like those ones with regular people will be fine, but if you're trying to do that with astromechs, that's going to be tough, because you're just going to have to just tank all the damage pretty much.
Are they quite mobile, given that they can fly?
Yeah, they've probably got the best. Well, not probably. They definitely have the best movement in the game, because they can just fly up ledge. Like most of the vertical parts of the map, there are ladders and stuff to get up there, so you can always get to vertical parts. But obviously, if the ladder's like way over there, you've got it kind of reduces the amount of moves you can, or like the distance you can get. Whereas with the astromechs, you can just cut that corner, and so they can technically kind of move further than most, because you can just cut those corners, which is definitely helpful to keep them alive a little bit easier.
That's so sick. So talk about characters in general then. Like, so you've obviously got custom characters throughout the game, and they can be what you so desire, clone troopers, so on and so forth. The say the custom characters, let's call them the story characters in the game, sorry. You like your Cly, your Trick. Do they feel genuinely like noticeably different in their uses and their abilities when you're playing the game? And then by extension, Anakin, if we use him as an example, did he feel like significantly more powerful?
I'm not going to talk too much about Anakin, because I just think people should experience that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
There was one point. So like even with Tel Rhea, she has a lightsaber obviously, but she's not like OP. She's still pretty like in like the same bracket.
She's in balance with the rest of the characters. Yeah.
And then you use Anakin, and I'm not joking. There was one part where I just one hit killed 3 enemies with one lightsaber throw from across the map.
I did that as well.
Zero like that. He's beyond broken in a good, like it should be like that. And the mission that you're in, the thing is, without Anakin, I don't know if anyone's getting past that mission. It's actually quite difficult, but because you have him, it's just like this dude.
Breeze.
Yeah, I was hardly using
him? Yeah.
Well, technically no, because you can just skip the turn. Yeah. So technically not. You can just leave him.
But so he is in the mission regardless.
He is in your mission.
He'll be in the squad. The only way to not use him is to just skip his turn. Yeah.
Got it.
But then you put yourself at a disadvantage. So.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think anyone's getting past that mission without him. That shit was tough.
That sounds sick. So okay, taking Anakin for granted, and I'm going to make a swathing assumption that there will be other characters similar to him. I can't imagine he will be the only character that pops up in the story that is on the more powerful side.
I'd like to think so.
We didn't see. I can safely say we didn't see any. He was the big character. Like there was no other. We didn't get Obi-Wan in a different mission or anything. But like the fact he's in there and it was in the first, I guess, third of the game, I would guess even potentially he might come back later or something. So yeah, I feel like that, but I also don't want to get people's hopes up and say, oh, like,
no, of course,
all the Clone Wars characters are going to be in there or something.
Yeah,
we don't really know, but yeah.
Well, I guess
just wait and see.
I'll say it if you guys don't want to, but I guess logically thinking, as you say, if he pops up that early, it wouldn't make much sense to have the rest of the game sort of have that void. Do you know what I mean? Of no other popular characters popping up that are a bit more on the powerful side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you guys have a favorite of the main Zero Company squad? Is anyone like you really gravitated towards?
Trick for me.
I've got 3.
You go.
So Trick was absolutely the main one. When I like saw Cab, I didn't really think that much of him, but then having played the game, like Cab
He's
is
the goat.
the goat. Like he's so great. He's just great. Like he talks really
the way
funny.
he talks is fucking
Like,
that funny, dude.
It's so funny. Honestly, like I wish I had like a quote in my mind.
Yeah.
It's just like, he's just hilarious.
It's almost akin to Yoda, how different he speaks to everyone.
Oh, really?
Not the same way. He doesn't speak like Yoda backwards and that, but it's like he genuinely does not speak English. It's like different language.
It's almost like it's quite childlike as well, though.
Yeah.
It's like sort of he goes like super uppercutty and like.
He's a very simple creature. Let's just put it that way.
Is, like he seems quite simple, but like actually does have quite a lot
his
of
story.
depth,
Yeah, his story was actually
like if you like speak to him after missions, people, then you learn his backstory, and it's like, damn. So yeah, Cab was awesome, and then I'm a big fan of Tell as well. So that was pretty cool. I actually saw, I was doom scrolling last night, and the voice actor for Tell popped up on my TikTok. So she was saying like, "Oh, I voiced Tell Rare in this new Star Wars game." And I was like, "Oh my god, I played it. It's really cool." And then she responded, so I was like, "Yeah." So that was quite cool.
And you're saying Trick for you, Sammy, is number 1 right now?
In terms of not only just, I love clones. Who doesn't love a clone? But gameplay wise, that dude is kind of cracked. Not gonna lie.
He is pretty busted. Yeah.
He has this. So all of the authored characters have essentially like their own ability that is actually unique to them. They don't like you can't custom make a character with the same one. I think it's called. It's not Together Brothers, or it's like for our brothers, or it's
something like that.
Yeah. So when he goes down the first time in a mission, he automatically revives himself, which is absolutely overpowered in a good way.
Surely pretty powerful.
Yeah, because there's the amount of time, and I'd often forget that happens. So Trick goes down, and I'm like, no, fuck, I got to go revive him. And then the turn ends, and he just stands up, and he just auto farms. He's like, I don't give a fuck. And then because he's so strong as well,
but
you'll have him in a position where he's gone down, and you're like, shit, I got to get like Hawks or someone there to get him. And it's like behind enemy lines or something. It's just in a terrible spot. But then he stands back up, and then you're like, oh, you're all fucked now. Like, I'm in this absolute peak position, and I've got all my AP back. Like,
that's the thing. Like with and so when you first like upgrade that ability, it's a case of he comes back full health, but he will be injured. But you can upgrade it a second time, which means that he doesn't gain an injury. So in order to then die in a mission, he would have to have essentially 4 injuries. Which is like insane, or 4 injuries. It's crazy. And then like later upgrades for it allow you to then, I think, regenerate an action point or something like that as well. It's just like you can actually just play Tricks super aggressively if you want to. Which I a lot of the time just forgot about, but like knowing that in the back of my mind now, like when I play the game at launch, I'm just going to be like playing him probably pretty aggressively because I know he'll be fine. So
I like almost infiltrating, allowing him to be down if necessary, and then he's
you almost want him like on the front lines, and then they will target him. You can have like a sniper sitting a bit further back, so then they'll like the enemies will come out, and then they'll try and attack him, which doesn't really matter because he's going to revive himself, and then your sniper's just sitting there. All right, you've just entered my vision, so enjoy this sniper shot to the head. So he's definitely, now that I know that, like the second playthrough, I'm just sending it with the Trick. I'm just first move, put him as far away from where he is as possible, And then even if he goes down, you just go, all right, it's fine, because he's going to get back up. Especially once you upgrade it to where he gets like full health back and stuff. There's going to be overpowered. I can't wait. That side of the game is going to be insane. Just thinking of, because I very much played it just like trying to get through the missions. I wasn't like min-maxing things. I wasn't trying to like really lock in on all these different things. It was just simply like, I want to finish the mission. Whereas now it's like, I'm going to just go into these battles like fully trying to like maximize all of these little synergies between each character. Just going to be a lot of fun, I reckon.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think like every story character just has those sort of nuances that you can actually like really learn and utilize. I didn't quite get there with everyone. I just with Trick, like you really noticed that, and then and I think like with Tell as well, just her having a lightsaber, the Force, like after she comes in like fairly late into the squad in the preview, so like we didn't get a huge amount of time with her, but like the little time that we do get, it's like, okay, so this is how I should probably best use her. So I'm excited to like get more of that. It's just so cool, man. I like when you're talking about all that stuff, I'm just thinking about like all of the Overwatch abilities as well, and how you like, again, in that footage with Sawtooth missing that 85% shot. Before that, there's reinforcements that come in, so it's like 5 different B1 battle droids all sprinted out. But I had Sawtooth, Trick, and Hawks all overwatched onto that scene. So as soon as the doors opened, then they all rushed out. Blast of fire just immediately just spewed out and killed 4 of them, and that one standing.
And that's a cool thing. I didn't know it did that, because obviously normally if it's one person, it slows down and just takes out that one person. But I noticed that with you. I hadn't seen that in my own gameplay, that if you have multiple targeting it just kills, like so they just delete.
But it was like instantaneous, whereas like in the shot before, because like 3 reinforcements come in at the same time. So there's that one, there's another one further up towards the bottom, and then there's one to the far left. I had a sniper overwatched on that far left. They all come out and then they start moving their goes. So then one of the droids then starts moving and then gets kicked in the head. And then that all moved out. So if you get multiple people, it'll just fire instantaneously, and it just looks so sick. Like seeing there was like one red blaster and then like a bunch of blue, and you see all those colors like mixing. It was just so good. Like visually, you touched on it already, Sammy, but this game like visually is just so nice. Like
it's crazy, man.
You know, Greg Furch has always said about this game that you know, you don't have to sacrifice visuals for gameplay, and like you can tell that they did not do that for a single second. Like everything is just looks so good. Even like, you know, when you're up high, it looks really nice, but then you zoom in all the way and it really just holds that visual quality. It's just it's stunning.
That stood out to me immediately, actually, in this gameplay. And obviously this preview and the content that's come from these previews has been the first time we've like seen the Den gameplay, I believe, at all. Outside of, and to be fair, I'll admit I was actually a little bit worried that it was like coming so late in the game, as in speaking about the release cycle. But seeing it and just seeing like you guys running around the Den and how good that looks and how detailed that is. Like it looks no less detailed than something from Jedi Survivor. Do you know what I mean? Like
absolutely,
100%. Which in this like genre of game is freaking mind blowing. Like
and there's even like little critters. Like there was in Hawks' office, there's like a vent, and I just hear a noise, and I turn around. There's like a little critter that runs away when you see it. Like it's got like actual detail. It's not just like a room and you just walk out and then there's like no detail in there. It's like it feels very lived in. It feels like you can even see like the lights on all the little like computer stations they've got like all moving around and stuff. Like it just feels genuinely Star Warsy and like really lived in.
So
100%.
One thing the genre typically like I've never played XCOM to like a major extent. I played Gears of War Tactics, which was certainly a victim of being a good looking game, but when you zoomed into it, despite coming out later than say Gears of War 4, it didn't look as good as Gears of War 4 because the game didn't need to, because it didn't require the same level of visual fidelity. This game obviously keeps that. I saw a tweet earlier from, I want to say it was Jordan Devries, and he made a really cool point that even whilst you're like thinking about your turn and what you're doing, for example, you're selecting tricks, moves for the turn or whatever, the battle around you still taking place. Like there's like blaster shots being fired.
Yeah.
That's such a sick detail because something like Gears Tactics didn't really do that.
Yeah,
Older
XCOM
games that
didn't do
I've
that either.
played, precisely, like the Fire Emblem titles I've played in the game, they don't do that. Everyone essentially just pauses. You know, there might be some small movement of them like breathing or like bobbing around, but they're not like actively doing stuff. And I thought that was unreal, and you could really see it in the gameplay as well. Like it genuinely made you feel like you were controlling a character in the middle of like fucking war, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Like, did you both like notice that when you were playing?
As the first battle,
100%.
I was like, oh my god, that guy just shot, and I didn't tell him what to do. Like it was just starts shooting at a battle droid, and I'm like, what the fuck? And obviously none of it deals any damage and stuff, but it just makes you feel more immersed in it. Because like that's the thing with these sort of games, they are quite unimmersive because it's like there's just characters all standing there. They could clearly, like, especially if someone's in your line of sight and they're like a meter away and then just not shooting them, it's like, what the fuck? But it's obviously just part of the game. Like that's just how it's going to go. But the fact that you have a character behind cover and they'll pop up and start shooting, and then the battle droid shoots back later, and that's so believable.
I mean, I having not played these games before, I didn't know like if this was. I kind of just assumed that it was common practice. Then I start seeing comments saying that like it's not, and I'm like, damn, okay, because like I noticed that a lot as well. I really did notice that like it just felt so lived in. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like seeing clone troopers fighting against these pirates, or you know, the Infinite Coil, and they're just like sort of constantly going at each other. Like that was really nice. Also shout out Jordan's a legend.
Jordan the goat.
So it feels so alive, so immersive, so deep. Like there is just so much depth into this game. A lot like how Parallel's camera has so much depth of focus there as well. It's stunning.
Bear with me, I'm coming back.
It's focused on outer space.
It's the eclipse, guys. It's the eclipse. We're recording this on the day of the eclipse. Several hours after, I might add. But it's just, I don't know, man. The fact that it's set in the Clone Wars for me kind of helps as well, because like I'm so happy we're seeing a Clone Wars game. But genuinely, this game is unbelievable. Like I'm kind of surprised I didn't get any comments saying like, "Oh, you're shilling, bro," because
I got quite a few actually yesterday.
Okay, fair. I haven't had.
You're always
one
gonna
yet,
get that,
but like, if I do, it's just like, oh, whatever. Like, I guess I can't have fun anymore. I guess a game can't actually be good on preview.
I replied to one yesterday that I was like, oh, shocker! The Star Wars creator who's been gassing this game up for months likes it. Like,
I know.
You know, like what did you think I was just gonna get it and then be like, oh, this sucks, this is terrible?
Yeah.
Like, of course, if I've already led into it with a lot of excited content, like I'm obviously, and I said that in the comment, I was like, I probably do have bias. I am a Star Wars fan, and I thought this game was going to be good, so I'm probably biased that I'm hoping it is good, and it turns out that it is good. And those sort of comments are always just like, what the hell, man?
No, absolutely. And I think, I mean, it's absolutely true, isn't it? I mean, I went into this game with a lot of expectations. Those expectations have been met and exceeded in many ways, and naturally that's going to excite me. And so when I go and talk about it, I'm obviously really excited about it. It's kind of the same with like Galactic Racer as well. Obviously I got to play that again last week, and you know, that game is just also unbelievably good. And so, you know, I'm talking about that quite a lot and just saying how great it is, and then people are just like, oh, I'm not sure. But it's just like, bro, trust me, like I've been waiting for a game, like I've been waiting for Galactic Racer for years, and now we've got it, and it's just like unreal. So I mean, the fact that we're getting Zero Company in like literally like 2 weeks plus Galactic Racer in October, like 6 weeks later, is just like,
that part's mad, isn't it? Like,
it's mind blowing. Both games look fantastic as well. Like, visual quality perspective, it's just such a high bar with both of them. So
I'm still here, by the way. I'm just having camera technical difficulty, so
Dear
you're
me.
going to have to deal with a black square until essentially my battery just died. I'm just quickly plugged it in.
I see. I see. Bless you.
I forgot to plug it in when we were doing it. I'm glad you touched on Galactic Racer though, because I actually was just before my camera cut out and like threw me off. I was just thinking, the level of detail that the den gives us is actually like almost like ironic. And I guess not ironic. It's a coincidence that the paddock in Galactic Racer also seems like way overly detailed for like what that needs to serve, like in the best way possible. Like we're getting these two games in the racing genre and the like tactical strategy genre, games that don't need massively detailed lived-in worlds and environments, and they look like some of the best styles of environments we've ever got.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the paddock in Galactic Racer feels a lot like the den in that it's like it's a relatively small space, but it has like everything you need to do in there. Like you can walk from where your ship lands, you can walk to Hebe's shop to like buy new parts, buy abilities, and like sort of upgrade your craft. Like next to it, you've then got a pit droid where you can then like enter the sort of the galaxy map and continue your run through that. You know, your speeder is behind the pit droid as well, so you can then customize it all there, change what vehicle. I assume maybe change your vehicle. I'm not actually sure about that, but you can certainly customize it. And then you can just walk around and interact with other characters and listen to conversations going on and so on and so forth. So, yeah, both serve basically the same purpose. Both look fantastic. All of the characters within them are like just really fun. Like go and speak to everyone if you can as well, because again, it's more backstory. It's more just of a lived-in feel to both games. So, yeah, and actually with Galactic Racer, rather than having like missions pop up, you can have sort of these like people. You can sort of get favors off people, or like people kind of like owe you. So they present you with an interesting opportunity whereby they might say. So in the gameplay that I was able to record last week, Senfira, who's the Tognath in Galactic Racer. Great Tognath representation lately, by the way. Both games both got like Tognath main characters.
Love that.
Yeah, they sort of came to me and was like, "Hey, if I take half of your credits, you can have more upgrades at the end of each race. So rather than having +1 upgrade to the battery, afterburner, or ramjet, it was like +2 or even +3 at times. So I did that, so I could upgrade my racer more but take less credits, because I didn't really mind that too much. I wasn't too stressed about other abilities. I just really wanted to focus on my like ramjet resilience and like cornering ability, so that by the time I got to Durvan Acos, I could just take it on and just absolutely annihilate Sebulba, which I did to a round of applause. So yeah, I mean, it was just so like, they're the kind of like unique missions that you can have if you speak to people, that you can have those opportunities pop up. You can equally decline it, or you can take like double credits for smaller upgrades for less choices. So you've got like 3 different options there. So that's sort of the there's a bit of like a trade-off and things. But again, you could completely skip past this and then do that. But I think if you do it, there's this whole like favors system, which you can then like, if you enter a new run, you can like apply a favor and do all this stuff. So there's quite a few of those things that you get to collect, which is quite cool. So yeah, both games, they're like sort of on, I guess, the what feels like the slightly smaller scale, in that they're not massive like PvP experiences, or like they're a more focused vision, but both of them have so much more depth than like I ever realized.
Yeah, they sort of feel like they've gone above and beyond compared to what I was expecting from these games. Like the den stuff you don't need the den stuff in this game, and it would still be a good game. But the fact that it's there makes it genuinely like so much better than what it would be without it. And I feel like obviously I haven't played, but I feel like the paddock side of Galactic Racer, and even just the roguelike elements to it and stuff like that. You didn't need to do that.
I'm
just
so
been
pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, it could have just been a regular racer, and I would have been still being like, hell yeah, give me that.
Yeah,
but the fact
100%.
that it's got like all these different elements to it,
Mhm.
feels like both games are just more of like almost like a love letter to that genre, rather than just like, let's make a game and hope it's good. Like, it feels like they're really putting in the effort, which is good to see, and it shows, because like you see all the previews for Zero Company, like everyone's gassing this game up. No, I haven't seen anyone be like,
no,
it's not that good. Like, every comment I've seen is like, yeah, this looks phenomenal, pretty much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it's kind of the same vibe that I'm getting with Galactic Racer. I've not seen anyone speak negatively about it whatsoever. So, and quite a lot of people have played it now. Like, we've had people played it at Summer Games Fest. There was sort of like 15, 16 of us that played it in the UK at Fuse. We've now had like the preview event last week, which saw like probably at least, I kind of want to say like 96 people play, if that's max capacity. So it's like, yeah, it's actually pretty insane. Like, we've had a decent number of people play the game now. It's going to be playable at Gamescom next week, in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll then get loads more people hands on. But so far, I've just not seen anything negative about either game. And I think a big part of that is because, as you say, they have gone above and beyond with things where they didn't necessarily need to, but they've actually just had a focused experience. They've taken the time that they need to make the game what it is. And yeah, it just kind of shows that good game development is still possible if you give them the right time, the right resources, and you don't just rush something out for the sake of a little bit of this. Because I think this will come to both of those games because of how good they are.
Like, Zero Company will sell more now because of the word of mouth of like, oh shit, this game looks dope. Like, that will make them more money because they've put in more effort. It's like it's a very simple concept that I don't know why these companies don't understand. Like, make a good product and it will sell more, but it seems like they're actually doing that with both of these games. And I hope not just Star Wars, but I hope just games in general look at that moving forward and go, oh damn, like, that's what extra effort will get you. It'll
I honestly, I think Zero Company and Galactic Racer are like genuinely setting a bar now for like all future Star Wars games. Like, obviously not everything has to be, S tier, and not everything will be, but like, they are genuinely setting a bar for me moving forward of like, this is where I kind of want to see the quality of every game moving forward. So we'll see, but good times. Parallel
You're
is muted in some way. One second, look at that.
Right, now I'm back.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So sorry, I was just having like major technical difficulties. As you can see, I've had to literally change camera. So my action cam has just had to come in clutch.
Nice.
Love that.
I've got like one of those Insta360 Ace Pro 2, so I've literally just had to grab that, USB it to the computer, because my camera is not charging fast enough to get enough battery to stay on whilst I'm trying to do this. So I've literally been fumbling for the past 5 minutes while you've been a heavy carry from you guys in the discussion there. So thanks. But yes, we're making it work. It's a little bit wider and lower than I would like, but I don't have much of a choice right now. Boys, it's been a really good discussion actually, I think, on the Zero Company stuff, and you provided like some real good like context, and some actually like genuinely really sort of invaluable and in-depth thoughts. And I said before, and I said this on the last episode, knowing that you were going to get the chance to play it, I value your opinion on this game significantly more than I do like an IGN or a fucking PC gamer or something, because not only do I know you guys, I know you're not bought individuals. I know that you guys will give a game a fair shakedown if it deserves it, you know what I mean? Like, you won't just lap up Zero Company because you've been given the game. So really positive to see that you guys are both high on it, because I know you both had super high expectations. I'll say, Sammy, you in particular have been building this game up and up and up. So I feel like if it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, your disappointment would show.
Yeah, I would be harsh on it. That's the thing a lot of people think with like content creators, is everyone's a shill and stuff. I replied to a comment yesterday and I was like, mate, I got invited to play Outlaws early, and I gave the game a 6.5 out of 10. I made a 50-minute video ranting about what was wrong with it. So, like, if I'm a shill and I want to keep my good reputation with Ubisoft, which I do Assassin's Creed stuff with as well, I would be like, oh, that game's amazing. I don't do that. I just say my literal opinion. I don't. It doesn't sway me getting the game early. It does literally. If I didn't play this, when it comes out, my experience with the game will be quite literally the same. It literally will be no different. So, yeah, I would have been harsh on it if probably almost unfairly, because I have gassed it up quite a bit, like thinking it was going to be really good. So it would be almost unfair that, like, if it's a 7.5 out of 10, I'd probably be bashing it more than I should be, if that makes sense. But that's just that's the type of person I am. I just have an opinion and I say it. I don't ever beat around the bush and stuff. And so the fact that I am high on this game is not because we've been bought or something. It's just because it exceeded my like you just said, my expectations were high, and it has exceeded those expectations. Like, it's probably going to end up better than I thought it was going to be, which is actually quite insane to think about, because, like, you guys have heard me rambling about this game for like a year.
Well, we are genuinely in for a treat with this game.
You guys actually are a really good example. I think you both, you've come from two different points of view, like into your expectation of this game. Like Sammy, as we just said, like, you had a super high bar. You thought this was going to be amazing. You were expecting it to be amazing. You said you've enjoyed XCOM. You had that, you've played that game before, and you know what the devs can create. Whereas Split, you said it's actually a new genre of game for you. So you came into it with a bit more of an unknown. You didn't know what to expect. And the difference is you've come from this side and this side, and you're both in the middle saying it's fucking awesome. And from both your videos and the things you said, it not only is it a good game, it's a good Star Wars game. I know you're both pretty excited about the story. Split, you said it in this episode quite at the beginning, like, you think the story's like really building up to be pretty spicy and good. So it sounds like there's something for everyone with this, which I think there are people who are going to have reservations about the genre and the gameplay, because it can be a little bit more unengaging. Maybe I'm not trying to use that as a derogatory term, but it's just the nature of the genre.
I know what you mean.
You're not in someone's face. You're not doing fucking like 10 kill streaks like you are in a shooter, like in 30 seconds. It's more reserved. It's more thoughtful.
It's kind of one of those things that you can actually just like take a back seat and just like chill out and give more time to think about. But that's what I love about it, is that, like, I don't have to just rush this and be on like high octane energy the whole time. I can actually just sort of sit back and think, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If I move here, are they going to do that? Is this droidica going to absolutely annihilate me or not? Because they are hard.
Oh, bro. That mission is fucked.
Yeah. So, like, it's all, it's just really nice. And I think, like, like I said, as someone who's never played a game like this before, I came into this sort of not knowing if I was going to fully understand the gameplay that well. But actually, like, the first mission is a really nice tutorial into how to actually just play the game. And then once you understand those real basics, which you should be able to get fairly quickly, it's then at that point just learning the nuances of all the characters and things like that. And now, after 15 hours later, I know that Trick's insane and how to play Trick pretty well and so on. So, I feel like it's something that if you're reserved about it, you could probably pick up fairly quickly. So
it definitely felt like it onboarded like casuals easily, which is hard. Like, I mean, I would consider myself a casual, even though I've played XCOM. I'm not a turn-based guy. Like, that's not my genre. But it feels like it's very simple. It's still difficult. It still can. Some mission. There was one mission I got stuck on for like it took me like 4 attempts to actually do it. But it's like, it just doesn't feel like you're dying and you're like, oh, I don't get why I'm dying. Like, every time I would die in that same mission, I'd go, okay, well, I'd improved on this other thing that I was trying to do, but then, like, I realized the reason I died is because I did this first objective, and then that means that these other enemies come into the map, so next time I'm going to take out all the enemies first, then I'm going to do the objective, and then I'll then they will come in. So it's like, it just feels very easily learnable. I think, like, just I don't think casuals are going to have to worry about like, oh, this is too hard for me or anything. And I think also, especially on easy, I think it'll be just like a walk in the park. Like I think if you play it on easy, it's like it'll be just like watching someone else play it. It's going to be very simple. So I do get that side of it where I've said that in my video. I was like, I think a lot of people will be reserved on wanting to play because like, oh, I don't like this type of game, which is understandable. But I also think those people are just straight up missing out. I really think that like if you like Star Wars and you even a little bit like video games, it's like nearly a must play, even if it's not your genre, because it's like the combat's only a part of it. It's not all just head-on combat. Like going around the den, upgrading all your stuff, making your own characters, that in itself is its own game. Just like making cool clones, like that might be enough reason for someone to buy the game, honestly. And like, I think that and the story. Like, I genuinely think some people could just buy the game and make cool clones for like 25 hours. And I genuinely think that would be fun. Like, I'm not even joking. I think I could do like a 10-hour live stream and just be like, let's sit here and make clones all day. And I would genuinely enjoy it. So from that perspective, that's where I'm like, I really want to urge people to just consider playing it, even if it's not really your type of game, because it just feels like this is going to be one of those ones that people miss. I think like a little bit like Squadrons, a little bit, probably more so than Squadrons, because that was kind of very niche. But like, that's another game I look back on and I go, like, it wasn't 10 out of 10. It wasn't my genre, but I'm so glad I played that game because it was so much fun. I think this is going to be that pretty much on steroids, really.
Well, speaking of actually buying the game, here in the UK, this game is $39.99, which
cheapest
cheapest chips in this day and age, absolutely. Do you think you're thinking from the previews that it justifies that price tag if people are reserved about this game?
100%.
Yeah. I think it would be worth full price if this was a full price game. I would not be like, So that's the other part of it where it's like, I do get the risk of buying a game for say like $90 and it's not what you thought it was going to be and stuff. And then I understand that side of it, but the fact it's pretty much like a half price game at launch, because comparing it to most other games, it's like a lot of $70 and $80 games out there. That is also part of it where I'm like, I think it's just worth that risk. You might, some people still won't like it. I'm not going to say this is the GOAT Star Wars game for every single person. Of course, some people won't like it, and that's fair. But I think a lot of people will be like really surprised. I've even had a lot of comments from like my Discord and stuff where people were like, I had no interest in this game, but I watched the video and now I'm like, shit, that actually looks fucking awesome. So yeah.
Well, boys, I think I'm going to try and tail it off there because I want to leave you with some of your own thoughts for your own content rather than spewing it all on the podcast. So with that in mind, do you guys have any more content planned over the next few days following your previews of the game?
Yeah. I've got daily videos lined up until launch, and then probably, I mean, I'm moving at the end of the month, so it's going to be tough, but I'm hoping to get daily videos out as long as I possibly can after launch as well. So got a lot of stuff on the way.
I'm in a similar, I'm just in a similar boat. Yeah, trying to get daily content out as much as I can over the next couple of weeks in the build up to launch and then after. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Unreal. So anyone watching, if you haven't already, please check out the guys' channels and their videos on the game. I'm sure you've already seen them, but if not, they've both made some really, really good quality content. As say, boys, I'll be there watching away videos off the rip because right now you are my main source of information in this game. Anything you're dropping, I've literally got noties on, and I'm like, right, if I've got 5 minutes, I'm straight on it. So keep up the good work in that aspect, boys. And like I said earlier in the episode, really glad to see you both get your flowers on this. And Split, just a sort of a separate one for you. Like, Sammy, you've had lots of opportunities like this in the past. Split, you've like really come up over the last few months. You've had some unreal opportunities.
Man, he's cooking, man.
Straight up, you are cooking. And I think it's a real testament to not only the work you've put in over the last year or so, but previously with Hunters and then all over the game. So I think just a special shout out to you, man. Like, you've been genuinely glowing with these last few games. So long may it continue, dude. It's been freaking awesome to see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. No, I appreciate that. I mean, like, I think I've said it to a few people the last like couple months that like the whole reason I got into YouTube was because I saw other people like getting these sick opportunities to like play these games early, and I'm like, I want to do that as well. So to have like done YouTube for 8 years and like had like a couple of like opportunities getting close to that, to then actually being able to like to play Zero Company a month early at home, and then to have now gone out to London and Guildford to play Galactic Racer twice is like
Unreal, man.
mind-boggling.
Incredible.
And then to go like Madam Two Swords for Power Wash Simulator 2 style DLC, that's something I will never
still a
forget
fever
that.
dream to me. I'm still like, damn, what a crazy
wild,
fucking
man. Like,
setup.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it's such a fun night, and like, yeah, it's mad. Honestly, I'm just very grateful.
Saw some of the official photos that they put up from that event on their socials, and it looked like it was really well done.
It was a really good event. It was. I'm assuming you're on about Power Wash, actually.
Yeah, Power Wash.
Nice,
I forget what's the developer called?
Future Lab.
Yes, they put up some posts. I think it might have been Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Just a few photos from the event. I guess they had a photographer there taking some snaps.
Yeah, they did.
And
yeah,
it looked really cool.
Yeah, it was like all contained within the Star Wars exhibition of Madame Two Swords. So it's just like
sick.
everywhere you step is just Star Wars. I got to play the Star Wars DLC. Well, yeah, like a month early, like next to a wax figure of Han Solo.
That's
Sick, you know, like so sick.
So sick, yeah.
So it's been like an insane couple of months, and yeah, hopefully that will continue into future Star Wars games.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, let's leave it there. I'm going to keep an eye out for you guys' videos on Zero Company coming up. I can't wait to get hands on myself on the 27th. I'm probably going to stream that game, like probably almost start to finish. I think anytime I'm playing it will be on stream. Is always going to be my attitude towards it, because I mainly play in the evenings anyway. So if I'm here in the evening and it's quiet, why not just stream it and enjoy it with some of the community?
Yeah. I'd say it's a very streamable game.
I feel like it's the type of game
Feels
too
like
that you can be streaming and be like getting advice from the chat, or someone in the chat will be like, "Oh, like bring 3 astromechs with you," and you go, "Oh fuck, all right," and then like it's going to be very fun to stream.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to do a playthrough as well. I think because it'll just be fun, and even just trying to do funny shit, like trying to only kill people by knocking them off edges and shit. Like I think that'll be so much fun on the stream.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Well, look, we're going to wrap up there, but honestly, boys, your excitement with this game is like genuinely jumping off the screen as well. So like, you don't even need to tell me these things. I can just see it in your facial expressions. That is genuinely going to be special. So thank you both for coming on again. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the game. You just continually type me up, and I'm seeing like loads of interactions on socials at this point. Everybody seems to be behind it, so it's looking like we're in for a real good one.
Absolutely.
100%.
Right. I've been Parallel. I've been lucky enough to be joined by the boys, SplitScreen and Sammyboiii. We'll be back at you hopefully in a couple of weeks. I've got a holiday next week, so I'm going to be AFK for a little bit, but we'll figure it out. Sammy, as you said, you've got a move going on, so that's probably going to keep you tied up for a little bit, but we will figure it out in and amongst the release of Zero Company, no doubt, and then we can all celebrate how amazing it is. I'm sure at this point it sounds like it's going to be an absolute slam dunk.
Yeah, hope so.
Right. Cheers, boys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.